All right, the first step for your sheet metal tool tray is to lay out your project. We're going to start with a 12 by 10 sheet, so the first thing you have to do is get yourself a 12 by 10 sheet to work with. So you could do this with a scratch awl or a Sharpie. Sharpie's going to be a little less accurate for you. Makes it nice and easy to see here in this video, but again, scratch awl probably or a scribe would be the best choice. So now that you know where to go cut on the shear, you could do that. Go cut this piece to the size we need. We'll come over to the shear. This obviously is a brand new shear, still on the pallet. You're going to want to make sure you can see both of your marks. Be up against the side where we're square, rather than out in the middle where we might get off. Okay, want to be up against the rail to stay square. We're going to line up our cut with the blade. You see our mark there. And we want to make sure that on both sides we're cutting right where we need to. Okay, if we look on our rule over here, we should be right at 10 inches. So if your marks are a little bit off, you can always use that, because we're cutting this to 10 inches right now. So make sure you hold your piece in place. When the guard comes down, it'll clamp it down. You will press the foot lever down with your foot, one person, body weight at a time. Okay, you shouldn't need two people. So the piece we're left with here, 10 inches right now, we need to cut it down to 12. The other way, we got a couple marks. Okay, we're going to move this back to 12 on our rule. We can see here. Check our marks. Okay, we're right on. Same thing. Make our cut. So the next thing we need to do is mark off where we need to hem and cut, or hem and bend, and also cut. So first thing I'm going to do is measure out a 1/2 inch hem all the way around. So there's a 1/2 inch that way. Okay. Again, I'm using a marker so you guys can see well, but I would recommend a scribe. So once you've made your marks, I would recommend just taking a square. Okay, we're going to be kind of double squaring, but it'll be a good way to check if your marks are accurate. Maybe you don't need full lines. You can make some dashes to let yourself know that this is going to be a hem. We'll just continue on squaring ourselves up. This will be a good check if you go over to mark. Okay, is my piece square? Those all line up pretty well. Should be all right. Okay, we'll keep going. should have 1/2 inch marked all the way around. That's going to be our hem mark. The other way you could check, if you didn't use a square, you could take your straight edge, okay, go to both marks, line them up. You could draw your dotted line there. See, all of those line up. You could check all those. Make sure you pay attention to your blueprints, okay? The finished product is going to be 2 inches tall, so that means we want to make our bend 2 inches from the bottom of our hem. So we're going to hem this over, so we need to measure out 2 inches from our hem, okay? So mark out 2 inches from the hem. Do a check right now. Line all of this up, okay? Because eventually you're going to bend right here. You're going to bend this piece to make your walls. Do the same thing the other way. Keep everything square as possible. Doesn't hurt to make the extra marks. So now we have our corners laid out, okay? We need something to spot weld together, so we need to leave some tabs in there, okay? The easiest way to do this, you don't want huge tabs. Say they only need to be 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, something for you to weld on. Maybe we go right in the middle, just go to 5/8. Okay, so you can mark those out. And then you don't want to have a squared off tab. We need it to be at an angle, so obviously we could take this corner here and draw a line to this corner. If we have a perfect 90, this should give us a 45. And we can draw that out till we're about out to our line, okay? That's all we got to do for both sides to make our tab. Then all we have to do, line up our lines. Finish those out, okay? Now we have a tab to spot weld on. And then I like to mark out what I'm going to cut, right? Okay, I'm cutting all this, so this is what we're getting rid of. We're keeping our tab, okay? Make sure your tabs are inside of the hemline. Okay, you see this one I drew on the outside. Okay, I had to come in and redo that 45 to the hemline. Okay, next thing you're going to do is cut all of these out with aviation snips. Cut those out so you're down to your tabs and your walls ready to be bent up. So now you can cut these out. Just take some aviation snips, cut right down this line, up around your tab, okay? The rest of this we don't need. Once we have our piece cut, our tabs are there. First thing we're gonna do is go hem all the way around. You come over to our box and pan brake and we will hem all sides, okay? After we hem, then we can bend and then we'll get to spot welding. So we'll get right to it. Hem all sides. Now, when we bend it this far, don't go pound that with a hammer. Put it right back in the brake. Flatten it out nice for you. Put it upside down. And then we have a nice smooth edge on the top. Okay? We'll do that all the way around. Alright, now that we have all four sides hemmed, okay, we got smooth edges, we will bend. You need to bend the tab sides first. So this side gets bent up with the tabs all at once. Flip it over, this side next, and then we'll do our ends, okay? Now we have to be careful to bend to 90 degrees and not any further, right? One side done. Now we have sides up, and we need to bend in our ends. It's important our tabs get in between our sides. One thing you could do, grab one of these and maybe bend them in just a little bit. Kind of a pre-bend, okay? Make it so they will get nicely inside of our sides. Okay. The other thing you'll have to do is adjust this, because we don't want to put this in and have it hitting the tabs. So conveniently, this jaw here on our box of pan brake would fit nicely, so we'll take one of these off, okay, and then you'll be able to use this one to bend. Okay, so all we need to do to get one of these teeth off is use our Allen wrench here, loosen them. Slides right out. These aren't going to hurt anything. We can leave those there, okay? sides bent. Okay, we need to go spot weld. So our project should look something like this when we go to spot weld. Okay, we have tabs in there to weld to from the side profile. Okay, our sides are even, same height. Okay, and we're ready to weld. All right, so we're ready to spot weld. Okay, you're going to take your tabs and use those to weld your box together. With the spot welder, okay, you use the lever to push the electrodes down, get your piece where you want it, so the weld is right where you want it, okay. Once you have your piece together, there's a switch here on the welder, and it should just be a quick 1, 2, 3, and we have a weld there, okay. Over time this piece will get hot, so you want to wear some gloves for sure. And you'll do that at least 2 or 3 welds on each tab, and you'll go all the way around your piece. So now we have spot welds all the way around. Obviously this piece is warm, okay? It's not going to break, we can't pull it apart. It looks like 2 welds per side should do just fine, okay? Then you have a finished product. That's all we're looking for here. Simple tool tray. Make sure your edges are smooth, okay? All sides are the same height. It's our main goal. And that's the tool tray.